All right, these are my like drugstore or small compact eyeshadows. I know some of you guys mentioned I didn't really have any in my palettes collection, but I keep them in a different section of my makeup drawer, so I wanted to film them separately. So we'll start with the ones over here that don't fit in the plastic container. I've got this NYC one. It is in the shade Medium Mauves. I love that these come with highlight, eye base, and then 4 different shadows. I have the same thing in Best of Broadway. This is much more of a like metallic-y natural color. I've got this number 8 from NYX. It's Let Them Eat Cake. It looks like this. It's got like pops of pinks and neutrals. I have this one from NYX. It's the number 10 one. It's Je ne sais quoi. This one I think is really pretty. I really love this mauve color, but I haven't gotten enough use out of these just because they're a little overwhelming. And then I've got this old one. It's from L'Oreal. It's the shades Sentimental Splendor 215. I really love this like metallic-y dual chrome one, if you can kind of pick it up. All right, I have this e.l.f. one. It came in one of the e.l.f. kits. I believe it was, let's read the teeny tiny little font here. This came from the Maleficent Villains kit. These are really beautiful shades. And I have this e.l.f. compact. This came from the Ursula Villains kit. Now I have these Avon quads. I absolutely love these. I picked up a few of them. This is in Stone Taupes. It's really, really beautiful. I love the packaging. It's really nice packaging. It's Romantic Mauves. I'd actually gotten a sample card with these 4 shades on here, and after using them, that's what made me want to pick these up. I don't know if they still have these because they were on a pretty heavy sale when I went out and bought them, but hopefully they still do because they are really good quality. And the last one I have is this Warm Sunrise. This reminds me a lot of the new Milani kind of warm earth tones quad that recently came out. I wanted to try it out, but when I realized I had this again, I was like, nah, I can't go out and buy it. So I want to play around with this more because I'm really pulled into these kinds of warm tones. All right, I've got some Wet n Wilds. I have this one in Knock on Wood. I accidentally dropped it, and this one kind of shattered, but it's okay, I'm gonna still use it. I've got Bohemian Rhapsody here. I don't know, I really loved this one when I saw it and I bought it on a whim, but the colors kind of aren't as pigmented as I wanted them to be. Like they look so pretty as like these really sparkly metallics, but they're just not as great. This one for On Cloud 9. The thing I like about Wet n Wild is that because these are so inexpensive, I think I got this when it was on clearance, so it was less than $1, is that you can get really cool pops of color even though I don't use them very often, and not feel bad about that fact that I don't use it very often because it was so inexpensive. So that's why I really like these kinds of trios personally. And then the last one that I have is this Cool as a Cucumber trio. I also have this trio from Pop Cosmetics. I got this in an Ipsy bag. This is like Beautifully Bare. I believe it was a part of a larger palette that they had, and I like these shades, but I'm kind of indifferent about Pop Beauty. I've gotten some things that are really great and some things that were really good, but nothing about their brand seems that unique. All right, now we've got some more kind of random ones. The Smoky Eye for Browns from Almay. I'm so sad they discontinued this packaging. They reformulated and repackaged these, and now they're in this black circle. They are not the same as these. I would not recommend buying them, but if you ever see it packaged like this, I'll be surprised if you can find it, but if you ever do, they are awesome. I really love these, and it's such a healthy amount of eyeshadow. Revlon one in Berry Bloom. This one's pretty old. I haven't used it a lot, so I'm definitely gonna potentially get rid of this if I don't use it much this year. I have another one of the Pop Trios. This again comes from that same palette, but this one came from Birchbox. I have this quad from CoverGirl. It's the Blooming Blushes. I went through a heavy phase with this last spring when I got it. I really love these. I had thought about getting more of these types of shadows, but nothing else seemed that unique for the offerings compared to what I have. As you guys can tell, I have a pretty extensive eyeshadow collection, so I resisted, but I love this one. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And then I have this one in Lunar Rose. It's not coming across as beautiful as it really is. This is from Fleur de Force. I picked this up online. It was one of the few makeup people on YouTube that I watch who had makeup available that wasn't I thought overly expensive, and it was something that I really wanted to try. These are super buttery, beautiful shadows. If you can get your hands on these, I wanted to buy both quads, but I was hesitant just because I didn't know if I really would like it, but I wish I had because they are absolutely wonderful. And I think this was no more than like $10, which I think is very comparable for someone on YouTube to create of their own line make. All right, I've got this Essence All About Nudes. I love this one, especially this color right here. I thought about panning this year, but I didn't. These are all straight up metallics, but it's my first experience with Essence, and it's a very positive one. I have this Revlon Custom Eyes in Naturally Gorgeous. These are really awesome. I really like the pigmentation. The only thing I don't like is that these are just one pan, so they can kind of mesh into each other if you're not careful. I have this Julep palette. This was before Julep was like doing makeup. They were really trying to figure it out for the first time. I really like this palette, but I don't ever really come to it because when I'm looking for neutrals, I tend to just go to some of my larger palettes, but I really do like this. I have this Kardashians makeup palette in Echo. This is from the Touch Tones line of theirs. This is freaking awesome. You guys can probably tell I really like neutrally pink and like mauve colors. This hits all of those, but again, the only problem is this set of shadows along this row right here is one shadow palette. So the colors can kind of blend into each other, but I absolutely love this. I've got this Maybelline quad in Emerald Smokes. I recently did like a cleaning out of these and I got rid of a lot of my Maybelline quads just because they're not as good quality as say like Wet n Wild or Revlon. So this is the only one that made it through. I love these olivey green colors. And I have this Wet n Wild 6 palette. It's called Thrift Store Chic. It's pretty, I just don't use it very often. I have this L'Oreal quad in Perpetual Nudes. This just sucked me in at Ulta. It was absolutely beautiful. I love all of the shades in here, but I find that I can only get one look with this, which is why I don't own any more of these. I have these like aqua teal shimmer cubes from The Body Shop. They're all right, but again, I can't use them for any more than like a few types of looks, which is kind of a bummer because they're very beautifully pigmented. I just don't get much use out of them. I have this Cabana Boy Love in Rio Trio from NYX. I have this little e.l.f. Pretty in Pink quad. I have this Rimmel quad in London Tea. I have this Rimmel quad in Afternoon Tea. Rimmel Trio and Sumptuous Tourmaline, I think is what it's called, but it's very pretty. All right, we come to the end, my little samples that I have. So I've got this Coastal Scents little duo that I got in a Birchbox, Exposure duo that I got in a Sephora box. This Coastal Scents quad, they call it Prom Queen, but it comes from a bigger palette. I have this sampling of eyeshadows from Ulta, the Ulta brand. And then I have this little quad sampler set from the Reveal 2, which I own this palette, but because I already had this and I've made like some really big dents on this, I'm probably going to use this up completely.